Hey, and welcome back to my channel where we discuss all things self-improvement, mind and body. Today, we're going to be talking about forgiveness, and more specifically, one of the most important kinds of forgiveness. Forgiving yourself for past mistakes, wasted time, and maybe some old regrets you have. Stay tuned till the end because there we'll do an exercise to go ahead and start this process of forgiving yourself, and also I'm going to set you off with a challenge for this week. I'm going to kick this off with a quote by Alexander Hamilton. A well-adjusted person is one who makes the same mistake twice without getting nervous. One of the reasons why this is so important. It's not just because of self-love and self-compassion, which, don't get me wrong, are extraordinarily important. It's also for the sake of your productivity and for your goals. Because when we get caught up in these negativity spirals, they hold us back. We feel like if we hold on to this anger for what we did wrong, it will help us make better decisions in the future. Because like if you're so mad at yourself for wasting time, whether that was wasting time one day procrastinating or wasting time for years just not going for what you knew deep down you really wanted. Either way, the longer you spend in that loathing, in that negativity, is time taken away from what you can be doing right now for your future. And I know that it is so tempting. Deep down, we feel that if we hold on to that, it will be the fire that fuels us to change. But there is a fire that burns not only healthier, but it helps you move faster. And that fire is when you drop all of that old baggage holding you back. I promise you move faster. I promise you move more streamlined and more focused towards what you actually want. This is actually a really personal video for me, and I thought it was going to be harder to shoot than it is because I had so much self-hate. For my first couple years in New York, I wasted so much time. I wasn't making enough money, so I was really desperate to hold on to the clients that I had. I was scared to move a client to another time, to go to a meeting or take an opportunity for some career opportunities that I wanted because I was so scared on missing out on that income. And then at night, I felt so bad about the fact that I wasn't actually doing what I wanted to do deep down, some other career goals I had other than training, even though I do love training, that I would just watch TV or eat or, talk to a friend or even just read a book, but I wasn't making progress on my goals either. Like self-hate holds you back so much, and this is coming from such a personal place for me, but I've finally gotten to a place where even though some days I do still wake up and I'm like, wow, imagine if you had capitalized on your first couple years here, imagine where you'd be now. And I just have to be like, no. And one solution is gratitude. And that is gratitude for your current opportunities, your current time, your current health, everything that you can leverage now with those lessons you learned from the past. I've noticed that gratitude is one of the solutions for self-hate, for wasted time, because you can just feel thankful for what you have in front of you now. I know it may take a lot of time. For me, it took so much time and journaling, and I want to talk about you now and finish out with an exercise, and then we'll do a challenge for this week to help with this. The exercise is you can close your eyes or just get into a place where you can feel meditative. And I want you to really put yourself in the situation that you were in right before you were about to make a decision that you regret. Knowing what you knew then, not what you knew now. Really bring yourself back there. What were you feeling? What were the surroundings like around you? What were your thought patterns at the time? What were other experiences that you were going through around this time? Like what was happening, the week before or a few days before? And imagine that you had learned none of the lessons that you learned between then and now. Would you have done the same thing? Would you have made the same decision? And I argue that you would have, because the only reason that you know better now is because you've learned since then. And this is what can really help us move on. I got this from a Mark Manson article. I'm going to link it below. This part of what I'm saying here is just that that's how you move on, is when you really start to understand your headspace then and understand your thought processes that went behind that choice, because then you can have some self-compassion that helps foster self-forgiveness, and then you can aim to move on, learn from it, and act now. But we have to do some of that deeper work. We can't just say, okay, I'm gonna drop that. Sometimes it takes that self-exploration. This exercise doesn't have to just end now with that really quick little thought exercise. You can take some time and journal on it. I think that that's how you'll really understand the headspace you were in then and begin to move on. I recommend reading that article by Mark too. Finally, here's a challenge I have for you this week. It's the how quickly can you forgive yourself challenge. Every single time that you make a mistake, even if it's something small, and it doesn't even have to be a mistake, it could just be doing something that you feel wasn't ideal. Let's just say you said something silly in a text message that you wish you could take back. Or maybe you ate a little bit too far past feeling full. Anything that you kind of wish you made another choice. I want you to experiment with how quickly can you drop that? How quickly can you just say to yourself, you know what, okay, I did that, fine, I'll learn and try and do something else next time. Or what can I learn from that? How can I be curious about this? How quickly can you move on is a huge determinant in how you're going to act now, as we've talked about throughout this video. So I hope this video helps. If you guys have thoughts, let me know what you think on either the challenge or the exercise or just anything I said in this video down below. Stay tuned for next week. I make videos every Tuesday on psychology, fitness, and self-development. Subscribe and hit notifications to be notified about those. See you all next week.